You know, if I had a nickel for every new DC movie after 2020, reimagining a classic DC hero 2 years into their story, I'd have two nickels.
Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, right?
So, Superman. What a movie. Like, why I like it. After so many flawed interpretations of the character, we finally have a version that captures the very essence and idea of Superman. But we already know this. I mean, if you go online and search up Superman review, there is hundreds of videos saying exactly what I want to say, both positive and negative. There's not really much I can add upon what people have already said online. And since the movie's been out for a few weeks, I decided to do something a little bit different. There's been a lot of bad faith criticism towards this movie, and it genuinely surprises me. I mean, I'm a big Superman fan, and I thought this version was pretty spot on. I thought this movie did a great job of portraying him, but apparently there's a lot of complaints about this movie, and it gets to the point where I have to wonder, did we watch the same movie? You guys sure you didn't watch Man of Steel instead? So I decided I'm going to take a look at these complaints and see if they actually hold up. And before we get farther into it, I'm not saying the movie is perfect. And to prove that, I'll list off some of my issues with the movie right now. The pacing was a little bit off. A lot of things felt a bit rushed. There were a lot of character interactions that were either lacking or just didn't go as far as I thought they would. Like, I wish we got a bit more of Lois and Clark with his parents. And Clark never really interacted with Jimmy, which is a bit weird. And there are some attempts at humor that don't land as much. But other than that, those are my only main criticisms. Everything else it does really good, or in a way that I don't mind it. So that is what I feel of it. But in order to get into these complaints, I do have to get into the actual story and content of the movie. So consider this a spoiler warning right now. And now let's start with the most common criticism I've seen with this movie. And it is Superman's power level. People keep saying that Superman is weak and a pushover, and he keeps losing fights that he shouldn't, and no, not really. People keep saying that this version of Superman lost way too many times for how strong he should be, and that he was so weak. But the opening bit made it quite clear he went undefeated for 2 years. That is 2 years out of the 2 years and a month we see from we've gotten into his story that he's went undefeated. And then even when he does lose, they're not against easy fights. People keep saying that his fights were so easily that he should have won, but when you look at his actual fights in the movie, they are Ultraman, a genetic copy, the Hammer of Bolivia, it's just Ultraman but in a costume, and to a lesser extent, not even really a fight, but Material Man, but he made kryptonite. How are those easy fights when it's either him fighting himself or him fighting his direct weakness? How is he weak if those are his opponents? Himself, his main weakness, and a kaiju he was holding back against. The next major complaint that I've seen is in regards to the actor, David Corenswet. I don't get it. He's clearly a great actor. He puts so much effort into all of his scenes. The two that come to mind immediately are his argument with Lois with the interview, and the ending where he tells off Lex about why he's more human than him. He put in so much work into those scenes. He is clearly a great actor, and yet people keep saying Henry Cavill was better. But I think we're forgetting the point that you slapping a talented actor into a movie doesn't make it good. If an actor is good, but they don't fit the role, that doesn't mean you still put them in. For example, Henry Cavill, great actor. I'm not saying he's a bad actor. I'm just saying he doesn't fit Superman for what we saw. Not entirely his fault because of directing and studio interference, but still, he clearly wasn't meant for the Superman role that he was given, whereas David Corenswet feels so much better for it, and he's clearly passionate about what he made. He's the one, he even gave his input on how to make the suit more comic accurate with the trunks. Like, he's clearly a talented actor, and I don't get why people want to just dismiss that because Henry Cavill is apparently better. The final thing I wanted to talk about was something I alluded to earlier when I was talking about the actors. That being the director. A lot of people are saying that Zack Snyder's vision is better for DC because DC is consistently darker and edgier than Marvel, whereas James Gunn has consistently made more upbeat movies. I mean, he made the Guardians movies and the Suicide Squad, which is one of the funnier DC movies. And to that I say, no. Just no. Like, Zack Snyder's style of filmmaking was not right for DC, because he viewed superheroes as a genre. And when you look at it, it makes a lot of sense. He made Man of Steel first, and he started with Superman. Great start. That's the most iconic superhero of all time. Start with that. Why is he dark and gritty? Superman is not a dark character. He's usually upbeat. Most of his stories portray him as a hopeful, upbeat guy. He's not usually dark and gritty, and if he is, that's the point of the story. Take a look at Injustice, a very popular story of Superman turning evil. It takes Superman as we know him after we've seen Superman being like his upbeat, jovial guy, this very goody two-shoes guy, and it breaks him mentally when he's forced to kill Lois Lane. That is impactful because we see a guy fall from grace so hard, so fast. We see a man who had nothing but good in his heart go to a complete lunatic to the point where he was just straight up killed Joker. That is the conflict, because we get to see it, and we also see other characters' reactions to seeing somebody they viewed as infallible fall. But when you make your first movie of your cinematic universe where Superman's already morally ambiguous, that kind of lessens the impact of when he actually joins Darkseid, because like, it's not as far as a fall as it would have been if Superman was a great upstanding guy from the start. If Man of Steel was more upbeat, then the flash forwards in Zack Snyder's The Justice League would be way more interesting, because then we'd want to see how does he get here and how does he become so evil so fast. That would be the conflict. But we don't get that, and that's just not great. Superman is a good movie. Really good, great interpretation of Superman in a while. And I can get the complaints, I can understand if people don't like it, and that's all I really have to say. If you have any other complaints or I missed anything, put them in the comments. I'll take a look, see if I have anything extra to say. But for now, I'm gonna go listen to the entire soundtrack of K-pop Demon Hunters again, because that music is straight fire. It is stuck in my head. God help me. See you later.